Welcome back to Well, That's Interesting, the wow, that's a lot of shit to deal with edition.
I mean, that's how I start every day. You know, I'm like, I have to brush my teeth and make coffee. This is a lot of shit to deal with.
That's right. So rolling out of bed. Just
Yep.
shit ton of shit.
Yep.
I'm Jill Chacha, and I am with the exhausted Marissa Riley.
Yes, that's me. What did I do? I ate some tacos and took a nap. It was so exhausting. So much shit to deal with.
In-Betweeni 037, the worm with 500 butts, and the woman who gave birth to 9 babies at once. So...
Oh my God. Okay, so today is about numbers.
Yeah, and dealing with a lot of things going on.
500 butts?
Yeah.
I have so many follow-up questions, but I have a feeling you're going to answer them.
Hopefully I'll answer all of your questions about all of the butts. If not, just throw them out. I'll see what I can do.
Amazing. Okay.
And if you're listening for the first time, Dr. Riley over here comes in cold, so she discovers everything in real time, just like you.
Just like you. I've never heard of this 500 butts thing before, but I'm pumped. It sounds like a Lizzo lyric, I'm not going to lie. And this woman who had 9 babies.
Yeah.
I mean, there's sometimes, like, I think I'm having a hard day. I'm pretty sure she's had a harder one.
Yes. Oh, yeah, we'll get into it. We will get into all of the complications.
Yeah, I mean, 1 baby is a really big deal, let alone 9 at once.
9. Yep. Oh, God.
I gotta know everything.
Okay.
Tell me everything.
Okay, well, yes, like the title suggests, this In-Betweenie is going to be wild. And I mean, not to brag, most of our episodes and In-Betweenies are really out there. But this one, I think it really, truly encapsulates how fucking weird you can't make this shit up interesting our world is.
I, as a huge fan of butts, I never would have thought of a worm having 500. Okay, I'll stop talking about the butts.
Let's do it. No, let's never stop talking about the butts. Let's first start with what inspired today's 2 topics. Let's begin with a shout out to one of our listeners, one of the flock, an extraordinary human being on Twitter at Kissy4647.
Welcome to the flock,
That's
Kissy
right.
4647. We love you.
We love you, and huge thanks for reaching out to us with an NPR article on the latest news regarding the latest brood of cicadas emerging this year.
Oh.
That's right, Brood 10. The Brood 10 periodical cicadas emerging in 15 states across the East Coast and Midwest of the United States.
Holy shit, are we getting some in New York?
We are, that's right.
Oh my God.
Right. So, if you're familiar with the drill, after spending 17 years underground eating and chilling in the dark, which sounds amazing, they
Sign me up!
They dig their way out, shed their skins, and go on a fucking breeding frenzy until their death, like a month later.
Okay.
But, yeah, what? What's up?
I was just going to say it's a cicada orgy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's happening?
That's what's happening.
Okay, amazing. Continue.
But nature is gonna nature and throw some cicadas a curveball.
Oh.
Now, Dr. Marissa, I would love to show you one cicada that has emerged, but something is up with its butt.
Okay.
Okay, and with no context here, please tell us what you see in this photo. And all photos today will be shared on our social medias.
Oh, yes, they will.
That's right.
I'm glad you're going to share this one because I don't really know what to say about it. It is, all right, it's a piece of leaf, and upon it sits a cicada. It's got red eyes. It's got some legs. It's got a body. It's got clear wings, transparent wings, which look amazing. And then it's got this white thing where the butt, I assume, would be, which is the back of it.
Mm-hmm. Like a white little puff.
Yeah, a little
basically.
puff. What's going on there?
It's a white puff. Well, its ass and genitals have fallen off thanks to a fungus.
Great.
Which has also turned their mind into a drug-fueled zombie. And that's just the beginning.
What?
Yes.
Wait. What?
Yeah. Now, NPR journalist Karen Zamora did all the work for us to help us understand what's going on here. So I'm going to play the 2-minute transcript of the article, "A Fungus is Pushing Cicada Sex into Hyperdrive and Leaving Them Dismembered."
Oh, oh my God.
It's about 2.5 minutes. So I'm going to play it. And everyone, just please try to wrap our heads around this.
I'm working on it now.
Here we go.
Brood 10 cicadas are slowly making their way above ground in many parts of the country. And as if those large brown bugs shedding their skins all over the place isn't creepy enough, some cicadas are taking it to a new level.
This is stranger than fiction, to have something that's, being manipulated by a fungus to be hypersexual and to have prolonged stamina and just mate like crazy.
That is Matt Casson, Associate Professor of Forest Pathology and Mycology at West Virginia University. Now, that fungus he's talking about, it's called Mesospora, and it means cicadas lose more than just their skins.
Here's what happens. Just before the cicadas rise from the ground, the spores of this fungus start to infect the bug. Once the cicada is above ground, it sheds its skin, becomes an adult, and its butt falls off.
Oh my God.
A white plug of fungus starts to emerge. So it looks as if the backside of the cicada is being replaced either by chalk or by one of those nubby middle school erasers that we're all known to use back in the day.
That white plug is full of spores, and as the infected cicadas fly around and try to mate, they are just spreading their spores from one partner to another.
In that sense, it's sexually transmissible. It's a failed mating attempt, of course, because there's no genitalia back there.
That is not all. Some versions of the fungus contain the same chemical as psychedelic mushrooms.
It's giving them kind of a sense of prolonged wakefulness. These cicadas are like, I'm drugged and ready to go.
Ready to go and mate.
Males that are infected will not only continue to try to mate with females, but they'll pretend to be females to get males to come to them so they can spread the fungus to even more individuals.
Now, Casson says a very small percentage of cicadas are infected with Mesospora, and as far as he knows, the bugs, they have no idea what is happening.
I don't imagine there's much pain. Maybe a desire to listen to the Grateful Dead or something like that, but no pain.
So, an alternative soundtrack there to keep in mind as you listen to the mating calls of cicadas outside your window this spring.
Okay. I'm going to quickly unpack that in Dr. Marissa language.
Let's do it.
Okay, so they're infected with these spores. They shed their skin. Their butt falls off. It's replaced with a white nub that's full of spores.
Yep.
That is essentially an STD that they pass along to all of their future mates. Also, the fungus makes them high.
Yep, you got it.
And a little gay.
Yeah.
What? Where I need the 7-part Netflix series on this.
Yeah.
High quality. I want good actors to play these cicadas.
Yeah. You thinking animated or in costume?
Costume.
Like Isabella Rossellini.
Isabella Rossellini. Yeah. I want the Streep.
Yeah.
I want an Amy Adams.
That's right.
I can't remember any male actors right now.
All female cast. That's fine.
All female cast. I want a Julianne Moore.
Oh, yeah.
I want her to be the main cicada.
Okay.
I want wings. Mm-hmm. I don't know about the butt situation, how we're going to do that. I will leave that to the costume designer.
Costume designer and CGI.
And CGI. I'm positive they will come up with something beautiful. High
go.
budget. We're going to do it.
All right, Netflix, call us, talk to our people, and we'll make this happen.
Yeah, I know they're listening.
We know Julianne Moore is listening.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure, for sure.
Right. So clearly this is a truly inspirational story, and it made me seek out another butt story.
Oh, really?
So what do you say? Let's talk about a lot of butts A lot of butts on one creature.
Oh my God.
Let's
Okay.
do it. All right?
Okay.
So to do this, we need to head back to the magical land of Australia.
Fun.
That's right. Now, in episode 040, we were in Queensland and New South Wales. Do you remember
Great
that?
time.
That's
Yeah.
right. But today, we're chilling in the warm waters of Darwin Harbour in the Northern Territory.
All right. All right.
So, once again, please imagine a map of Australia.
I see it.
Point to the north coast,
Okay.
point to the middle of the north coast,
Okay.
and boom, there we are. That's
Easy does it.
Easy. And it was in these waters where M. Teresa Aguado, an evolutionary biologist at the University of Göttingen in Germany, hopefully I said that right, she and her colleagues found a worm. But, my friends, 'tis no ordinary worm. It's Ramicilus multicaudata.
Oh, nailed it. By the way,
It took
I
me-
saw it. This was a particularly complicated couple of words to say, and Jill nailed it.
It took me like 2 days to say that.
I can see you practicing in the
You
other
know,
room.
yeah, you can hear me mumbling to myself. Ramicilus,
Silas,
Ramicilus.
Silas.
So it's a goddamn mouthful. So we're just going to call it Rami for short.
Love
How's
it.
that sound?
It's so cute.
Dr. Marissa, again, with no context and really out of nowhere, I'd like to show you Rami.
I'm pumped.
A very, very small section of it, and then we're going to pan back to do a big reveal. So, would you be so kind to tell us what you see, as if you were the first person to discover this one-of-a-kind creature?
I would love to.
All right, here's the first photo.
Okay. Hi, I'm the first person to discover this. As all of you can see on your Instagrams, it's it has a head.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the lower left corner, there's a little head with a pair of eyes.
Yeah. And it looks sort of like a worm millipede situation. It's got this long body with lots of little legs, except instead of being one long sort of tube-like body, it kind of branches at one point. It branches into two, and then each of those little branches into others. When you're first looking at it, it really looks like a twig or something, or like some sort of sharpie, like pointy vine situation with lots of points on it.
It looks like a part of the cactus, almost.
Cactus, that's what I was thinking. A succulent. And at one point, before it branches, it's got this yellow sort of tube situation, and I'm positive I will be able to tell you what that is later.
So that is a very, very, very close-up of its little head and the part of its many bodies. We'll get into it. But I'm going to pan back now and show you just how large, just a section of how large this thing is.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes. Oh my God. Okay.
I know.
I don't even know how to start. Okay,
Yeah.
so imagine what I just described was one corner piece of a 1,000-piece puzzle.
Yeah, that's a good description.
And so basically, I'm not sure where the start is. I'm not sure where the head is.
Yep.
But it branches out in so many ways that it fills this entire photo with just tons of twists and turns and sort of vine-like.
Yeah.
Almost like how you would see like vines on a gorgeous castle wall.
Yeah.
Specifically a castle. I don't know why, but it's just tons.
You're classy.
Because I'm fancy like that. And it just goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
And amidst all of its sort of limbs, there are these kind of pinkish puffs and peach colored puffs and blood orange color puffs. I had a San Pellegrino yesterday, not to brag. And it sort of looks like cotton candy. So
Yeah, that's actually, keep that in mind. So all of this is one creature.
that's insane.
Yeah, and it calls the inside of marine sponges home. So I think we all have a general idea what a sea sponge looks like. It's
Yeah.
kind of like a big old puff with a lot of holes and tunnels running throughout it. It's kind of like a labyrinth on the inside, right?
Yeah.
So what it seems that this worm, what it likes to do is burrow its one head its single head
Okay.
with a single pair of eyes and a single mouth at the base of the sponge, and then using the sponge's tunnels as a guide or a mold, if you will, it grows outward.
Wow.
Yeah, throughout the sponge. So those branches you saw jutting out at seemingly random points, that was the worm replicating its body over and over again, filling the sponge into the shape of the sponge.
So my question is, this is the coolest thing I've ever heard, but it can never leave the sponge.
Exactly.
So it just lives,
It lives in that sponge.
it is one with the sponge.
It is one with the sponge.
Wow.
So every time Rami forks off, all of the internal organs divide, the guts, the nerves. Imagine instead of an arm coming out of your shoulder, it's an entire torso.
Wow.
And each branch ends with, you guessed it, an anus.
Oh my God.
That's right. Each branch has a butt. And in one specimen alone, that team of researchers, they counted 500 branches, and therefore, one mouth, 500 butts.
Holy shit.
That's right. And those little pieces, those pink pieces, that was
Yeah.
part of the coral, the sea sponge that was holding on to. So it was, they kind of pulled it out of there, and that's what it looked like, and it was hanging on to its home, basically.
Aw,
Yeah, I know.
like that.
So, co-author of the research paper, M. Teresa Aguado, noted that depending on the size of the sponge a Rami worm could inhabit, there could be as many as 1,000 branches, 1,000 anuses, and still only one mouth.
Dude, this is a lot of worm. Like,
is.
how does it sustain itself? Does it just eat all day?
That is fucking incredible. Great question. So this worm must be a voracious eater, right? Well, we have no idea. We have no idea what or how this thing eats to sustain such a massive form.
Oh my God.
Dr. Marissa, if you would be so kind as to read from Jake Bueller's article at gizmodo.com as to why we don't know.
Nothing would make me happier. All right, quote, no food has ever been found inside the worm's intestines, just empty, visceral real estate. Holy shit. It's particularly baffling in an animal so ludicrously rich in anuses. This is my favorite sentence, side note. There's an awful lot of digestive infrastructure here to be building intestines to nowhere. Quote, we don't know how this animal keeps its huge body having only one minute mouth, says Teresa. It may use the organic material and water that goes inside the sponge canals due to the currents generated by the sponge, end quote.
There you go.
I guess that sort of helps.
I guess it's a great theory. I mean, it's possible that its many branches may be absorbing the nutrients from the water, which explains why it would only have one mouth.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
So that's one theory. And my friends, this only gets weirder because maybe, just maybe, those butts aren't really meant for pooping.
What?
That's right.
What?
Enter genitals.
Oh my God. Okay.
Right. Quoting again from that Gizmodo article because it was so beautifully written, I applaud the author for their word choice. Quote, when Remy Silas decides it's time to procreate, its abundance of derrieres goes through a transformation.
Oh.
The branch ends basically convert into genitals, filling with eggs or sperm. These reproductive units, or stolons, grow eyes and their own brains. When mature, the stolons detach and swim away, their freshly acquired, air quotes, head and eyes steering them to mate with stolons of the opposite sex. What started as a wriggling snarl of buttholes becomes a swarm of autonomous, sex-seeking torpedoes. End quote.
I listened to that whole quote with my jaw on the floor. I mean, it's going to take me days to wrap my head around this.
Yeah.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my God. End of reaction. That's the best I can do right now is incredible. End of reaction.
Yeah. Imagine your ass turning into a sack of eggs or sperm with eyeballs and then popping off because you're anchored to a sponge, like you said, and that's really the only way to make your species genetically diverse, is to turn all your butts into sex torpedoes.
I'm going to need Julianne Moore to star in this series as
Please.
well. Yeah, let's get the crew together.
Let's do it.
And the 500 butt worm. I need to see this live. I need to see this in several parts.
Automatic hit.
God.
Top 10 in America. There you go.
5 stars. This is gonna be more popular than Marvel.
Oh man, I said this was a wild in-betweenie. So that's our anus and genital portion of the show. After the break, we're going to continue with the theme of offspring, this time in humans.
Holy shit.
Stay tuned.
Please do.
Hello, everyone. You may recognize me as Gabby from the History of Everything podcast.
And my name is Brenna, and you don't recognize me from anything yet.
Together, we're 2 scientists who explore all of the weird little questions and conspiracies of the universe in our new podcast, Mystery of Everything. Everything has an explanation.
We hope.
That is what we're here to figure out. We will dive into the science behind many popular conspiracy theories, such as vaccines causing autism, flat earth theory, and was the moon landing fake? And if so, why the heck would anyone even do that?
But it's not just conspiracies. There's a lot of cool mysteries that we will attempt to use science to explain, such as near-death experiences, what made the Vikings go berserk, and can I control my co-host with MK Ultra?
Wait, what? Anyway, make sure to check out the Mystery of Everything podcast everywhere where you find your podcasts.
We're the All Creatures Podcast. Each week, Angie and I explore and share amazing details about the many animals we share our world with.
Plus, Chris and I are both PhD scientists and educators. So we do the deep dives in the scientific research and then come back and share what we learn in a fun and casual way. We also speak with other scientists, animal experts, activists, and many other conservation enthusiasts from all over the planet.
So you can find the All Creatures Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey everyone, Jill Chacha here from Well, That's Interesting, and I am absolutely thrilled to tell you about Spotify for podcasters. I use it, I love it, and it all started by downloading the free Spotify for Podcasters app, which has all the tools you need in one place to record and edit your masterpiece of a podcast. Spotify for Podcasters also distributes your show to all major platforms. So when you hit publish, your episodes will stream not only on Spotify, but I'm talking about the Apples, the Googles, Stitcher, Good Pods, the other ones. You get the idea. And you can monetize your podcast with no minimum listenership required. You could also set up monthly subscriptions and record ads just like this one. So what are you waiting for? Download Spotify for Podcasters today and start changing the world. Oh, and please, stay interesting. And we're back.
We are so back.
We are so back. And we're giving birth many times over.
Oh dear.
Let's leave one continent for another. We're heading to Africa, specifically to the country of Mali.
Sounds cool.
Which means it's imagination time. Let's all imagine a map of Africa, shall we?
Yep.
Now, point to the northwest corner. You know that kind of roundish landmass that sticks out on the left side?
I am familiar.
Cool. Now, let's point to the center of it.
Okay.
And there, generally, is the landlocked nation of Mali.
Amazing.
So, this is a very interesting stat. In 2017, 67% of their population was under 25 years old.
Holy shit.
And as of earlier this month, they just got a few more young residents.
Aww.
I know. But first, let's head on back to even earlier this year, when pregnant Halima Sissay, who happened to be 25 at the time,
Oh my God.
was getting an ultrasound. And the news she and her husband received was probably not expected at all. 7 very tiny but healthy fetuses were counted.
Oh my God, Halima.
I know.
Halima. Oh,
Jesus.
poor baby.
Now, it's not known if fertility treatments were used in this case, but nonetheless, even in the States, even in the United States, someone carrying a litter of 7 would be big news.
Absolutely.
And it was huge news in Mali, a nation that is, if you give it a Google, undergoing intense political strife. Here are just some headlines from Al Jazeera. Quote, Prime Minister Mokhtar Owan resigns, but is immediately reappointed to carry out a cabinet reshuffle.
Oh my God.
French journalist kidnapped in Mali pleads for help in video.
Holy shit.
3 UN peacekeepers wounded in northern Mali attack. And 4 peacekeepers killed in northern Mali attack, says UN. And that last headline was back in April. So
it's a bit of a mess there. A lot is going on.
yeah, and we're not going to go into the very deep wounds and complicated geopolitical history of Mali. But, to say the least, the nation needed something to rally behind. And Halima's pregnancy was the chance to uplift and unify a nation, basically.
Oh, I'm glad we're taking like a really optimistic view of this.
Yeah.
And I hope that means that she was able to receive better healthcare, more free stuff. I hope.
Stuff,
I don't know. That's all I hear when people have babies is like, please give us diapers. Like, just give us stuff.
Yeah, because absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine how many one takes, let alone, well, at this point, they thought 7. So, anyway, around the 6th month, or 25 weeks, Halima's body was showing signs of complications and early labor pains. A uterus can do a hell of a lot, but asking it to carry 7 fetuses at once is asking a little bit too much.
Oof,
so, with nearly every eye in West Africa on fragile Halima, the country's transitional leader actually ordered to evacuate our mother north at the expense of the Mali government to a private clinic called Ain Borja in Casablanca, Morocco.
Oh.
So here, under the care of Professor Youssef Alaoui and a team of 30 additional healthcare professionals, they rolled the dice and they chose a high-risk, high-reward option.
Oh, my God.
Delaying labor an additional month in an attempt to get those kids as developed as possible.
Wow, I have never heard of anything like this.
Yeah.
Because I guess if they were born on time, they would just all be so small. There's only so much room in a person.
Right, exactly. They are super small. So they're like trying to delay it as much as possible to get them stable,
Yeah.
So 5 weeks later, Halima's uterus expanded to the point where it ruptured.
Oh, my God.
And it was clear this was as long as she could possibly carry them.
Yeah.
Dr. Marissa, would you like to read from npr.org as to what happened next?
Of course.
With Sisay?
Of course. All right, quote, Sisay, am I saying that correctly?
I think so.
Sisay, 25, gave birth by cesarean section, and doctors were surprised to find 2 more babies than expected, the health ministry said, end quote.
Yep. That's right.
Oh, my God.
Expecting 7, but they got 9. 9 babies were delivered, all weighing between 1 and 2 pounds. Thankfully, Halima was stabilized and placed in intensive care. All 9 survived the cesarean and were incubated.
That puts a big smile on my face.
I know.
Oh, that is such good news.
I know. And get this, her husband, Adjouant Kader Arbi, I probably slaughtered that, I'm sorry. He remained in Mali with their daughter.
Oh, they already had a daughter.
That's right. They already had a child, so they have a grand total of 10.
Holy shit, Halima. What's your PayPal account? I'll send you some money right now.
Dr. Marissa, would you be so kind as to tell us Dad's experience as reported by the NPR article, Nanuplets, woman from Mali, gives birth to 9 babies.
Of course. All right, quote, Arby told the network he's, and I quote, very happy that his wife and the 9 babies are doing well. In the excitement over the births, he added, everybody called me. Everybody called the Malayan?
Yeah.
Malayan authorities called expressing their joy. I thank them. Even the president called me. End quote.
Yep.
Oh my God.
I know. So if you're wondering if nanuplets have ever occurred before, they have, but years ago. And their brief history was a sad one. According to The Guardian, quote, the first known case of nanuplets was in 1971 in Sydney, but none survives.
Oh, no.
Another set was born in 1999 in Malaysia, but none lived more than a few hours.
Oh, that breaks my heart.
I know. I mean, however, technology and care has advanced a lot in over 20 years. So it's very possible this outcome will be a different one, and one for Guinness World Records.
Oh, my God.
The current world record for the number of live births at once is 8, set by Nadia Sulman of California back in 2009.
I remember that.
So, a Guinness World Records representative told NPR, Halima may be our new record holder, and they're employing a consultant for the case. It's complicated.
Yeah.
Anyway, meanwhile, back in Morocco, it looks as though Mom and the 9 are pulling through, and they will remain under the clinic's care, for another 2 to 3 months. So it's looking good. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Happy belated Mother's Day to her. and the trillions of cicadas whose reproductive parts have not fallen off.
Holy shit. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I forgot about the cicadas. That's how intense this 9 baby story was. Oh my God. The whole time I was like, I just want them to live and be happy and have all the diapers they need.
Free diapers.
Oh my God. Please. Huggies.
Something.
Is that the name of the company?
I think so.
Get on this. Sponsor these kids. Give them everything they need. I'm so happy they're healthy and okay.
That would be incredible. Yeah.
And I'm so glad Mom is okay. I hope she's
stable,
recovering well.
and in intensive care. So far, really happy story with a happy ending.
Yay!
So it's fantastic. And thanks again to Kissy4647 for sending us that NPR article that just really inspired In-Betweeni 037. So thank you.
Thank you so much. If anyone else has something they want to share, I'm not kidding. We're going to read it. We love this stuff. We are complete and total dorks when it comes to this.
So please reach out. You can DM us at wellthatsinterestingpod on Instagram or on Twitter at WTI_pod. And you can email us.
Yeah. We love an email.
Yeah, at wellthatsinterestingpod@gmail.com. And thanks to everyone just listening with their friends, talking about it with their friends, and rating. That's a really big, easy thing to do to help other people join the flock.
Definitely. We want you to be in the flock. We want you to be one of a fellow business goose.
Fellow business goose.
Yeah.
And please, above all, stay interesting.
Please do.